Amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you Stacey. Thank you Philip. Thank you everyone for coming. Such great energy. Great to be here. Really, really interesting. So we're going to be talking about a few very, very interesting stuff today. How to actually utilize it and take it to the next step. Meta people, I hope you don't hate me. I'm going to share some data. I know you guys are very strict about that, but I'm going to share, so don't hate me too much. But it'll be super interesting for the performance marketers to really take it to the next step. So what are we going to be discussing? Number one, what the data shows, where Reels sit in today's world, how to maximize Reels with Madgicx, and what's to come for Madgicx with Reels. Really, really interesting stuff to come from the future as well. So number one, why are we even talking about this, right? It's new, we know what it is, and where do we take it from here? What do we do with this? So something that I think is super interesting to look is at the data. First thing for the performance marketers out there to actually start looking at, it's still very, very early for Reels, and that's why there's not a lot of competition yet to really come out there and put it out there. So we can already see 53% cheaper CPM on average compared to the normal other placements in Facebook, and this is only for conversion campaigns. So we're talking performance marketing here, guys. As I said, unique opportunity to really maximize it before the market goes too much into it. This is really where we want to bounce in, and the next slides will really prove that point as well. Cool. So next thing I want to show you guys is performance. Performance of Reels is going up month over month. We can see this on average. In general, we usually know that Q4 is when people actually see the best performance. But we actually seen Q1 is actually giving Reels up more momentum, meaning it's continuing to grow month after month. In fact, if we actually look at the numbers, so the average ROAS for Reels grew by 45% in the last 6 months. That's where you need to be profitable. That's where you're going to be making your money in the next 6 months to come before the market floods this. It's going to flood it at some point, and you guys need to be there. Next super interesting thing I want you guys to see is, okay, you would expect return on ad spend went down, but we went from Q4 to Q1, spend probably went down. And that's why the return on ad spend went up. But we can actually see the spend is actually increasing on Reels month after month, very, very strong. And we can actually see a 439% increase in the last 6 months in spend in Reels, meaning it's growing as we talk. Every day there's more and more spend getting distributed to there, and if you're not putting money there, you're losing money, 100%. So we would expect the return on ad spend to go down and not to change, or at least not change as spend goes up, but we do see exactly the opposite result, meaning Facebook, the Meta, the algorithm is actually learning more and more how to utilize this, where to put it, when to put it, who to show it to. So as the machine learning algorithm learns more, we need to start utilizing it more and really maximizing and those kind of stuff. And as we all know, due to the law of diminishing return, at some point this will end, right? We saw it with stories, there was a massive hype. At some point it ends, it reaches the peak. This is not close to the peak. This is exactly where everyone needs to jump in and say, how can I utilize this as much as possible to really maximize my return on ad spend? And that's where we want to be. So before I jump into it a bit deeper, I just want to say, why do we need to think about it differently? And Stacey talked about this a lot, but I just want to put it into perspective the way I like to make it super simple to me. So we have this graph. On one side, we have entertainment, right? Entertainment, we think Netflix, right? I want to come entertained, I want to watch something, I want to binge something, that's where I'm going, Netflix. On the other side, we have the social network for friends and family. I want to come, I want to see what's happening. My cousin got married in the US, I want to see the pictures, I want to see the story of my friend that's now visiting whatever island it may be. And that's what we really want to talk into. And that's Facebook and Instagram. And then what I think is really, really beautiful is we start seeing something now that's developing in the middle. Somewhere in the middle, and here we have Miley Cyrus in the best of both worlds, right? And that's exactly what Reels is. In the beginning, you come into Facebook or Instagram to start seeing your family, right? You want to see what's happening there. But we see this with the data. What keeps you there is the Reels. And that's where everyone is moving to now, right? So that's a very beautiful journey of what's happening now. People come to see what's happening with their friends and family. People stay for the Reels. And that's really, really an evolving thing as it continues to grow. And that's, I think, a massive advantage, by the way, that Meta has on these people. So people will always come there, right? People still come there on a daily basis. And I think Stacey said the numbers here. I don't know, like 1 million billion Reels a day get watched and all those kind of stuff. And it will only continue growing because they have a market that never ends. People always come to Meta platforms. People still sign up to Meta platforms every single day. And it's still growing and growing. And that's where the Reels will really keep them there to maximize on that space as much as possible. So now I really want to talk about how to actually utilize Reels in your ads as part of the AI revolution, as part of Madgicx, to really start maximizing that as much as possible. So as I'm sure all of you know already, we do have a really exciting tool called AI Marketer, which can automatically identify opportunities for you and scale based on whatever's working on your account. So we can look at market data, identify what's working, and give you those opportunities on a silver platter with the click of a button. And we're actually developing right now something super interesting there, is to actually maximize this for Reels. So we'll be able to identify your top audiences, we'll be able to identify your top Reels, and create brand new campaigns for you based on these specific things. And all you need to do is click that button there that says Launch Audiences. So we're really pushing this, we really understand the potential here, and that's why we're really maximizing this as much as possible. The next thing I think, we heard people say, guys, we get you, Reels is working, but I'm not inspired. I can't just think of something. Right? And that's exactly why we created the ad inspiration tool. And that's what's really nice to see over here as well, is inside Madgicx, you can actually go now and you can filter to say, I want to see Reels between this and this length, right? And I can say, I want to see ones that have shoes in, right? Because I'm selling shoes, whatever it may be. And I can get inspired by all this kind of stuff. And it's really, really simple. No, the clickers against that's not worth us. But we will send you guys this as well so you can see it play, and you can really just move in here super easily, identify what's working, move it, and we'll talk about at the end how we can later put this into our ongoing process within Madgicx. Next, how can we actually launch into the Reels placement? We understand it's there, we understand we want to utilize it. Part of our process of launching campaigns, where can we actually see this within Madgicx and maximize that? So super simple, as you guys all know in Madgicx, once you reach the launcher, you can decide the placement. So I just want you guys to know that we did add the Reels placement here as well. And as anything in Madgicx, we want you guys to make data-driven decisions. So we display the data here right in front of you so you can identify the opportunities and really maximize them while you're making the steps. Next thing I want you guys to see is how can I actually test this, right? So for example, something we can do is we can create an ad set. As we anyway create an ad set in Madgicx, and we can simply duplicate that ad set. This allows us to A/B test a very easy functionality. With the first one, we can say, I'm going to put it in all my placements, see how it performs, let Meta do its thing. On the second thing, I can say, I want to take a little more control. I've been hearing a lot about these Reels and I really want to maximize my performance. I want to test it. And this is the perfect way to do an A/B test here, because we take an audience that's exactly the same, we take creatives that are exactly the same, and the only thing we change in is the placement. And we can identify how to maximize those performances. And we've tested this on a lot of accounts, and it's actually working really well. It's proven to be a very effective scaling strategy as well. Because I'm taking a top of funnel audience usually, right? Because we want big SaaS. We take those audiences, we duplicate them, launch them into different placements, and really maximize that as much as possible. Another really cool thing we can do is analyze performance. So I didn't go into it too much here, but just so you guys know, there is the 360 account audit auction inside. So you can go into there, you can identify performance on different kind of things and really see how much am I spending here. Where can I identify these opportunities? So there's Reels, there's Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, you can really dive into that. There's other placements as well. So maybe you come in here and you actually see, I'm not utilizing Facebook stories enough, whatever it may be. But I just want you guys to know to utilize these opportunities, to really maximize on these kind of stuff. Because this is where your money's lying. This is the easiest way to make more money. And I know you're probably thinking now, okay, I understand the potential, but I don't have time and resources for this, right? And Stacey talked about a lot that anyone can do this, but we all know that sometimes we don't have that vision, we don't know how to do it, and we don't know how to utilize it. So in a second, I'll talk about how we're going to put that into that really process that we can utilize this very fast. But I want you guys to really quickly, in case you haven't met them yet, meet Sparkle, right? Sparkle allows you guys to really maximize those kind of stuff and really create them on the go. And what's really interesting here is they're in the industry. They're not in the different industry and they say, we'll do this. They can see what's working. They know what's working. And they can really move that to you guys and to really help you guys create more stuff and more ideas. And the way they actually move this functionality is, first of all, you have a few options, right? You can do fully edited, right? And you can allow them to do it. But what I'm going to skip a bit because my favorite part is the content blast. You literally take a 30-minute video, you send it to Sparkle, and they'll create a bunch of different videos for you, a bunch of different opportunities to really utilize these different things, give you guys massive content for months to come, right? And you can really utilize this with UGCs, whatever it may be, unboxing. You can send them pictures, you can send them whatever they do, and they can really turn those into those converting kind of ideas. And again, they're in the industry, they see the data, they know what's working, and they can help make sure that converts for you guys as well. So just to really quickly what's to come, kind of like understand what's happening. And this is, I think, what's the most interesting idea of what we do in Madgicx is we try and create full processes, we try and create full workflows to really make sure you guys can take something from A to Z and execute it to the highest level possible, right? So we're really combining all the tools now, starting with the creative insights, where you'll be able to identify what's working for me, reels, stories, whatever it is, short, long, all those kind of stuff. Move to the, okay, I understand what I'm searching for. Go to that feed we saw where you can see all the different ads. Right? And then I can say, I know what's working for me, short videos, reels format, that's what's working for me. I filter in based on that, see ideas. Once we identify those ideas, we save them. And then with the creative brief tool we're creating now, you can save those videos, send the brief directly to Sparkle, and they'll create those ads and send them back to you. So we're really circling that full process of creative production from A to Z. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate the time you guys gave me.